1, 2, 1, 2.
Ha. I was gonna ask a question, but I just made a noise.
That'll work. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the DWF podcast. I am your host, Bigyo 76, and I am joined by fellow council member Bojo. Say hi, Bojo.
Hey, Bojo.
And then also joined by our fellow DWF streamer, the one and only K to the J.
Hey, how's it going? Let's go.
Pretty good, pretty good. Y'all been all right? Y'all been doing okay?
Decent.
Hanging in there, man. Hanging in there.
Man, rough week for everybody.
Yeah.
I'm in Texas, so I got hit by those storms last week, so I'm recovering from that. And then Bojo, you just moved, right?
Yeah, just moved, just started a new job all in this month, and it's been hell.
Ooh,
It's been awful.
Oh,
moving alone sucks, but I did start a new job. I'm 3 weeks into mine, so
No, it's been great, and it's also been really rough. So I'm just it's finally starting to level out and calm down. So like I'm cool. I'm cool now.
but it's new experience.
nice.
And I read somewhere that when it comes to like what's it like when life feels more the way you experience life, your brain remembers new adventures, new experiences,
Mm.
and the more new experiences you have, the more you remember. So, if like for example, I spent the last 5 years of my 20s just partying and boozing, so there's not a lot of memorable experiences there. But the first 5 years of my 20s was college and then working and traveling for work. And I remember those
Yeah.
years really well. And it's kind of why also like kids, you think back to your childhood and you're like, man, I remember all this stuff, all this stuff, all this stuff. And it's just because everything was new. So, good or bad, new experiences mean more life milestones, I guess.
Of course,
More
of
things to
course.
remember.
I hope
Uh,
that's actually true because I remember nothing ever. So
Really?
well,
yeah, I
there's
can't
no
remember shit.
it's not a cure for short-term memory loss in your case or
Well,
my case.
damn.
This is just the way that was the way you experience life.
Yeah,
But
true. Mhm.
so for today's episode, we're gonna actually be going a little deeper than we usually do. Usually, video we're all passionate about it, but today's episode, which was actually suggested by our guest host KJ, we're gonna be talking video games and relationships. Um, and this can be a touchy subject for some. For some, it's nothing.
Mhm.
It definitely elicits a lot of reactions. I think, depending on who you're surrounded with, and it's kind of cool that the three of us are the ones doing this episode because I think all three of us are like have really three unique perspectives,
Oh
and
yeah, for sure.
I think we'll be able to get a good conversation going. And then hopefully for those of you out there listening, definitely once we're done, hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you thought. I know there's a lot of different perspectives and a lot of opinions, but
Mm.
we'll dig into it and see what's up.
Let's go
Um,
for it.
all right, so right out the gate, I'll just start out. My perspective or my where I'm coming from, I am a newlywed and I'm married to a non-gamer. Although I'm working hard to convert her, but
Oh,
so far it's been a complete failure. Uh, but I'm trying. At one point she played Zelda on Nintendo, so if she was able to get through that, I feel like I just need to find the right game for her.
what
But regardless,
what
as
have you
as it
tried?
stands, so I tried Little Big Planet. I
Okay.
tried. Well, first I messed up because I got real. To me, it's a simple game, but I tried Uncharted 4. Is that the one with the girls or five? Five. And
I think it's 5. Yeah.
yeah, and I put it on like the easiest mode, and that was too much for her to navigate a
Eh,
PlayStation
yeah,
controller.
that's a lot.
She didn't have the finger dexterity, so she got frustrated with it, and so I messed up with that. And then, all right,
Mm.
well, let's try Little Big Planet. that was at the suggestion of Adams because he plays that with his wife, and she's not a big gamer,
Yeah.
more so than my wife. And then so I tried that. She played it for like about an hour, but then she didn't really come back. And
Oh
then
wow.
so so that's where my perspective's coming from. Uh, Bojo, want to shine the light a little bit on your
Well, I have a question for you first. How long have you guys been together overall?
overall since August 2017.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
we started dating in 2017, got married last year, and yeah, we'll be going. I mean, October 24th will be our 1 year anniversary.
Oh, nice.
So this is newlywed. So I've been married for 4 months, and we didn't live
Oh, you
together before then
fresh.
or anything like that. So she wasn't she wasn't exposed to my habits, right? And I don't think in her mind she could understand that a gamer can sit down and crank out 4 or 5 hour gaming sessions, no problem.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so I think that that opened her eyes a little bit. And I never hid the fact that I was a gamer. I was
Mm,
like, yeah, I play video games. I got my group. I got my friends. They stream. I'm into this. This is my hobby, and I was never shy about it. I was openly geek to her.
yeah.
But I just her us not living together. She never saw how much time I could actually sink into a game, and I never really had to worry about anybody actually caring because I lived with my brother. He watched TV. And that was a big
Yeah.
thing. That's how I justified it in my mind. I was like, you know what? Like he watches TV for 5 hours and then he goes to bed. I don't watch
Yeah.
TV, but I play video games 5 hours. Like, what's so weird about that? But even like my brother was like, how can you play for 5 hours? And I'm like, same way you can just sit on the couch and
Yeah,
watch TV
exactly.
for 5 hours. But I think so. I've thought about it because, like, for my wife, if she gets home and I game for 5 hours after
Mm,
I've been working all day, or she's been working all day and she wants to come home and interact, like watching TV, you can still socialize. You can sit
yeah.
there, chit chat, share an experience or a moment. Whereas with gaming, in our case, ends up sort of isolating myself from her. Like she knows she can come and like tap my shoulder if she has a question or something
Yeah.
like that. But it's not quite the same as being able to just, hey, how was your day or what were you doing or stuff like that. Because once you're in it, you're in it. You're not going to be focusing on outside conversations. I think
Yeah.
I
video
think it
games.
also depends on the game you're playing too. Like,
Yeah, and since we
yeah,
only play multiplayer for the most part, or I do, you can't
man,
pause it. She doesn't understand that part either.
You can't
I
pause
yeah.
an
stream.
online game.
I can't stream. So
It is kind of funny when you're like playing like Call of Duty and somebody comes in the room and say, "Hey, just pause it for a second." I was like, can't
dude,
do that."
That's not how it works.
yeah, yeah. And she'll come in and I'm like all into it, and then she just taps my shoulder and it spooks me. I'm like, and then she spooks me, and then I spook her because I'm spooked, and it's like this. Okay, and so
Yeah,
but it is what it is, and so there was definitely. I mean, I guess. Well, describe your perspectives, and then we'll go into how we adjust or how we think we adjust. Because I think at one point we were all single gamers, right?
Yeah.
And now we're all
yeah.
in relationship gamers. So you know,
Well, my situation has changed, but yeah, I used to be a relationship gamer, shall I say? Used to be. So
oh,
yeah, that's different.
uh, that is
But when I was in a relationship in gaming, basically I tried to introduce her like very lightly, like little things like Tetris. I also tried what's that horror game that came out with like the monster and the four teenagers? Um, you had to like make choices. Each
was
choice
it
decide
Oh,
was it
Until
Friday
Dawn?
the 13th?
until dawn. Until dawn.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
such a fun
mechanic or whatever.
game.
I never played that
Yeah,
one. I always
that's
steered away from horror games. I don't know if I'm just a little chicken shit or what, but I don't handle.
honestly it is fun. It's
Yeah.
it's really fun. Like she actually enjoyed it. She's not really into horror either, but when she played it, it was actually fun because she saw how each decision changed like the outcome of the game. and that aspect of it actually made her more interested in the game, surprisingly. Um, and then eventually she started playing more horror games. I introduced her to Dead by Daylight, and she randomly just got addicted to it. So she plays it more than me now,
Oh
basically.
wow! So you managed to convert.
Yeah, I managed to convert pretty
Wow,
heavy, pretty heavy.
that's I'm impressed. I
Yeah,
haven't been able to do that. And she hates horror, so I'm definitely not gonna be able to do it your way.
that's the thing. Like
Because
she hated horror too. She
really,
doesn't like horror movies. Yeah, she hates horror movies, but for some reason now she plays Dead by Daylight like every day.
well, I
You
do have
know?
Dead by Daylight. I'll see if that because it's just Dead by Daylight is fun, right? It's like a scary game of tag.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
pretty
Yeah.
much.
maybe if I frame it that way, she'll be like, okay, let's give it a shot.
It's
Oh,
like
interesting.
tag, but
Yeah,
you die. Like,
exactly.
Yeah, and
It's
use
dead tag. That's what we'll call it. Dead
dead
tag.
yeah,
tag.
death tag.
Oh man.
um, and then you, Bojo.
I think my experience is a lot different than both of you guys because my boyfriend, both of us are gamers, always have been. And, like, I don't know, that's how we've bonded, I guess. And, like,
Mm-hmm.
that's how we spend quality time together is gaming. And it's a lot of fun. Both of us are very competitive, though. So
Mm.
that's fun. But we,
I
I
can
mean,
vouch. I can vouch.
we can,
Play
we
games with both
communicate
of you.
well enough to obviously not let it get to us, and we've never had like a real argument yet. We've only been together 3 months though, so it's only a matter of time, right?
Yeah, it's definitely friendlies.
Only a
Very
matter of
friendlies.
time.
Wait till he loots your kill or something, and then it's on.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
I do enjoy that we can shit talk each other and
Mhm.
still be
uh,
like cool.
mm-hmm.
That's one of my favorite things.
No, I say
So
that. See, your perspective is one that I'm definitely a little bit envious of, just because
yeah,
right off the bat, it would have been cool if we both were gamers and we both enjoyed that hobby. Um, that's not to say that like so her big thing has always been like exercising and hiking, and she's more of into traveling, which obviously COVID kind of screwed it a little bit. So she showed me new experiences. So I still value all of that, but definitely would be nice if we could play COD together.
Yeah,
It never
well,
happened.
if she's into exercising, that's perfect. If you have like a Nintendo Switch or something, you can get like Ring Fit Adventure. She might
VR,
like that.
Beat
Yeah,
Saber.
VR.
You're
Yeah,
taking the words out of my mouth. That's my next. Like I'm saving up, and I want to get her a Switch because I know I just saw the commercial for that Ring workout thing,
Yeah,
yeah,
and I think she would totally dig it because she goes to the gym, but she does appreciate home workouts, and we've done a couple of like YouTube videos in the living room, and they
yeah,
kick your ass. But I think if there was another outlet where she could do that, I think that'd be awesome. And so
yeah. That
I'm
might be
definitely gonna
perfect
look
for
into
her.
it. I'm definitely gonna look into that. But I also was already considering the Switch because she told me she likes Zelda, and so since Switch had that remastered version come out,
Oh
the
yeah,
original, I figured that'd be like right up her alley.
yeah,
And she likes cutesy stuff, so maybe she would like something like Animal
yeah.
Crossing
Animal Crossing,
yeah.
yeah.
What a
something
good
like that.
game.
I never played it. I
I
never
still
had a
haven't
Switch.
played it yet either.
It's
Oh
so
man.
good.
Yeah,
I,
I saw, yeah, like I saw a lot of non gamers stream that game because it was just
yeah.
kind of like a Zen vibe type game.
It's
Uh,
heard it's like a cult classic, like out of nowhere. Like everybody on the planet is playing it, but me. It
Well,
feels like
everybody had to stay inside and do something, I guess. It's the
exactly,
only way you could go outside was virtually, so have
exactly.
plant
Want to go
flowers
outside or
and
travel?
yeah,
Play
dig for
Animal Crossing.
treasure and all kinds of stuff.
fish apparently.
Yeah,
Swimming.
literally anything. It's so great. I have
So I haven't.
noticed that
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know, female gamers tend to lean more towards like the puzzle games and like the world building games, like games that you can like craft in, like Minecraft, The Sims, Animal Crossing, stuff like
Yeah.
that. That's even Nancy Drew. I've met a lot of girls that like the mystery solving games and stuff like that.
Oh
And I think
yeah,
that's why a lot of female streamers and stuff are into the horror games because most of them are puzzle games. And I
yeah.
think I've seen a
Yeah.
lot of people that are
No,
like
y'all into
super
the
into
masters
the
of the mind fuck.
yeah, and like that
I'm
are
among us with so many females just preying on masculine, my inherent need to protect. Oh, I still remember the betrayals that would happen between me and master manipulators. But no, I think you're right. I mean, there's definitely a big following of female streamers that play those types of games and not necessarily the FPS genre.
yeah.
Yeah,
There's
true.
those that do. I've actually noticed a lot of female streamers lately. Not a lot, but they've just come into my periphery. They've been doing it for a while. Like a lot of
Yeah.
Tarkov female streamers.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of that
Yeah.
Really
lately too.
dope. Like, that's pretty cool. It's definitely a
Even
cool.
Valorant too.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Valorant. I've seen a couple Valorant. I've already. I've been seeing the Apex ones.
Mm.
Uh, but yeah, Tarkov for me was the big new one where I've seen female streamers come into it. So I like that diversifying and opening up for more people. Anyway,
I think that's also why a lot of female streamers get a lot of gripe when they play competitive FPSs because a lot of people are so used to them, like you said, playing puzzles and world building games
Mhm.
that when you see a streamer playing Valorant or PUBG or Apex, they're like, wait, what are you like? What are you
yeah,
doing? You don't know
they
what
don't
you're
get
doing.
taken
Yeah,
as seriously.
yeah, exactly, because they're
Yeah,
not used to seeing that. But
yeah.
it's
No,
becoming so regular now.
when I first saw some of the female streamers on Twitch playing Tarkov, I was like, okay, let me see this. And then I open and I see their stash, and they've got like 100 million rubles. I'm like, yeah, okay, they are obviously
Yeah,
legit.
they know what
I've
they're
got two
doing.
million rubles in my stash, and I know I ain't shit. But these girls are sitting. I'm like, all right, they're serious, serious gamers. And I've seen a lot of the bigger Tarkov streamers partnering up
Yeah,
with the female streamers, and it's pretty funny. Pretty good content there.
yeah.
And I've seen plenty of COD female streamers as well. Um, but
And we're all
anyway,
over the place now.
Oh yeah, they're taking over the world.
Yeah.
um, anyways, back to the topic where there goes a tangent. First tangent of the night. Um,
Tangents are amazing.
I do have a
there,
question.
Okay.
Has gaming had a negative impact on your relationship at all? Either one of you?
Hmm. I have to go false first. Oh, I can't speak false. I can't talk.
go ahead, KJ. You want to go?
I go me go first. The negative impact. In previous relationships, when they probably first found out that I was a gamer and they realized how many hours I put into it. For a little bit, they didn't understand like why I put so much time into it, and they would say, "Oh, well, you're not spending enough time with me. Why are you playing this game for 2 or 3, 4 hours?" So mainly just that. I mean, they were just wondering why I was putting so many hours into it and not spending time with them. So, and then after a while, if I would get them to play with me or get them to understand why, and then after a while, it wasn't so bad because, like, let's say if you're playing a game like Call of Duty or something like that, you can't just play Call of Duty for 10 minutes, because
No.
sometimes if you're playing like like the battle royale, that's going to take at least 30, sometimes 40 minutes. So after I explained that to them, they kind of understood it a little better, even though they still kind of give me gripe for it, once in a while. But yeah, I think it was just mainly just the time frame of how long I took in some games. It was a problem for a little bit. So
Yeah. Because I will
Yeah,
say, even as a gamer myself, I get it. Like it's something that we all like to do, and it's like our me time, I guess. Because
yeah,
like Juan said, people will sit and binge watch shows for hours, and like that's games are our time. But
exactly.
there has to be a line, I feel like. And if you're in a relationship, you have to be able to see where that line is. and I don't know, not choose gaming every time, and also not choose your partner every time, or like give in. I mean, obviously choose your partner. I don't know. It it's hard to put into words. Like there's just such a fine line in between there's just a balance of your me time and your significant other time. And even whenever you
Yeah.
do game together, that overlaps sometimes and you get sick of each other. Like you don't want to be around somebody 24/7. And I
Yeah. Yeah. Need that break.
I
You know.
no matter how much you
so
love somebody, like need a break sometimes.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've actually never gone through because like I never really had like a serious relationship. I was just kind of always you know dating,
Yeah.
but not ever enough where I was serious to where I cared about her feelings towards me about video games. Uh, I will say, especially in my 20s, I wasn't gaming as much. Most of it
Yeah.
was like if the weekend came around, I was out and about, partying, whatever,
Yeah.
hanging out. So it wasn't ever an issue, anyways. Um, but being coming into the marriage, that's where it actually started to matter. And I had to do some relearning. You know, I had to appreciate that she wasn't upset that I was gaming. She was upset that she couldn't interact with me, and it was a new experience for her, just as it was a new experience for me. And I guess she kind of felt alone, right? Because here she comes,
Yeah.
especially because I wasn't working for a few months because I was laid off, and so she'd be working all day, I'd come home, and I'd be online, and I could see how that would bother her. Like, I've been working all
Yeah.
day. I come home, and the one night where it kind of got uh, kind of an eye-opening night. She comes home. No, I didn't make dinner. Nothing's really been done. I'm just sitting there playing Tarkov. Like, she had a right to be upset, and so we kind of talked through it, and um, I started pretty much just reducing the amount of time that I game because it was too much, right? There can be too much,
Hmm.
and so but at the same time, once I showed her that I was putting forth the effort to be with her and not ignore her and give her time, she respects me enough to let me have my time, gaming with friends.
Mm.
I'll because at the same time I know that at some point she wants to have her me time as well. Like I know that nobody wants to be smothered 24/7 by somebody
Oh
else.
yeah.
So and
You gotta have
so
that space to miss
it's a
just
bit
to
of a
speed up
learning.
something. Yeah.
Say it again.
Now, I was gonna say you gotta have that time to miss somebody too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh, I mean, it's like I said. I know a lot of it has to do with us being newlyweds.
Yeah.
Um, I suspect at some point she's gonna be like, "Go play video games. Just get out of my sight. Leave me
Leave
alone.
me alone.
She's
Like
like,
go
isn't
lock
there a
yourself in that room and
date?
leave me be. Like get
Yeah.
you out of here."
I think that's
Uh,
where communication comes in, and it's so important to like be able to talk to your partner and set those boundaries and be like, "Hey, let's set aside like one night a week where we both just hang out with each other rather than like
mm-hmm.
it be an every night thing." Because I mean, I don't know. Like I said, and we've all kind of agreed upon, you don't want to be smothered 24/7, but you still need to be able to communicate and set aside some time, or it's not a
Exactly.
relationship at that point.
Yeah. Sure
Yeah,
indeed. Sure
no,
indeed.
totally, totally. I mean, there's a reason why you decided to be with this person.
Mhm.
Uh, so do it.
Yeah.
Don't just slap a title on it and then uh, lock yourself up in your game room. And I
Yeah.
mean, we all anything can be overdone, right? Like, gaming, especially, we know that it can be an addiction. It's ruined lives. Plenty of people I knew in college dropped out because they would just game. I
Yeah.
know I know two guys specifically, two guys that dropped out because of WoW. Their first semester
Wow.
they came in, played WoW the entire time, and
Yeah.
they got put on probation. And I, I, I knew one guy that after that first semester got put on probation, and it freaked him out. He closed he gave me his account. I'd never played WoW, and he's
Mhm.
like, "Hey, I've got a month left in December. Take it. I don't want it. I got to rebound." And
Damn.
Mhm.
my entire Christmas vacation went straight into WoW, like gone. No, a month was just disappeared. So I totally understand how like that addiction can hit you hard, especially a game like
Yeah.
WoW. Especially because back then WoW was like pretty revolutionary.
Yeah.
I'm talking like 10, 11 years ago. No, closer to like 14, 15 years ago.
It's been a minute.
Um, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'll be 34 next month. Like I'll be 34 in 14 days, 2 weeks.
Oh,
So
you're Pisces.
yeah,
Oh,
not.
well, my birthday's in a week. Nice. I didn't know you were
Oh
Pisces.
really?
Yeah.
What day specifically?
March 5th.
Dude, that's my dad's birthday.
It's on a Friday.
My dad is March 5th. So I've got a cousin in March 2nd. My dad is March
Oh,
5th.
nice.
I'm March 9th, and then another cousin March 31st.
My brother's March 20th.
Hell
Oh,
yeah.
wow. Pisces
March
taking over
babies
the
is where it's
world.
at, man. March babies
Yeah,
is where
man.
it's at.
Jesus.
No, March is such a great birthday month because it's far away enough from the holidays to where nobody's gonna be like, "Oh crap, here's another gift I gotta buy."
Yeah.
And it's not really. I mean, spring break is right around the corner. So that's one thing. My birthday would fall on spring break, so I never got like those classroom lollipops, and the teacher would be there like,
Yeah,
"Hey,
same.
nice job." I
I have a
didn't get any of
summer
that.
birthday, so
Oh
it's
yeah,
rough.
When is your birthday, Bojo?
August
teachers never.
23rd.
Oh, okay.
When
Okay.
all the
I know.
hotels and beach vacations, everybody goes home and things go on sale, and it's great.
There you go. There you go.
Perfect time to go on vacation last week in August.
Oh,
Still
yeah.
warm.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. True, true. So I have a question for both of you then about like the relationship thing. So for someone who is single, do you believe going into a relationship that talking to that person about gaming will let them know that you are a gamer? Do you think that's kind of like the important first few conversations to have, or is that something that they just kind of fall into later?
Ooh. Okay.
I
Bojo, you go first.
I think that it's extremely important to talk about the things that are important to you, especially when getting to know somebody, because you're getting to know somebody and you want to know about them, about their interests, and you might not know that down the road that this potential partner hates gaming and like their ex all they did was game and now they have this like awful taste for gaming in their mouths and like that's going to end your relationship and it'll be like too far down the road to be like and it'll cause problems and arguments. So I definitely think that
Yeah,
you should be upfront about what you're into just to make sure that one it's not going to be a problem and you could find you know someone to share that with.
yeah. Okay.
Okay. I've
Makes
been out
sense.
of the game for a little over 3 years, but and I think it hasn't really changed. There's still, especially when it comes to men uh, telling women, um, there's that stigma that I think women have about gamers, especially male gamers. And
Yeah,
I think there's two tiers, right? Like I think most women out there can understand, like, oh, he plays Madden and Call of Duty. Like a bunch of guys
mhm.
do that, and that's kind of like it's
It's
cool.
like the guy thing. Yeah,
But then you're like, oh no, I've got multiple consoles, PC, and I geek the fuck out. And that's a whole nother level of stigma where I think a lot of women, especially if they're not gamers, start thinking like, oh well, I think this guy might just be immature, or
yeah,
why does he play a kid game, or why does he play kid hobbies, right? And
yeah,
so I always worried about because when I was starting to seriously date, I would not really. divulge that until I thought it was something serious.
Hmm.
Usually if I made it to like the second or third date with them, um, then I'd opened up about interests like that. Because I am a gamer and I enjoy gaming, but I don't know that's fundamentally who I am. Fundamentally, I think I have other facets of my life that are well. It's hard to say that because I do think that my values, especially with gaming and the gaming industry, I think it's
Hmm.
become a bigger part of my life. When I was
Yeah.
dating, it wasn't quite so much. So when I was dating, I didn't have BWF, I didn't have the friends I had. I didn't decide to take on, doing gaming podcasts and things like that. So maybe I'm a little bit skewed, but I don't
Hmm.
know if I would go in on the first date and be like, oh yeah, I game, I do this, I do that. Um,
Well,
but
one of them, I don't
well, no,
get
go
that.
ahead again.
Because, like, one of the main questions that you get asked are, like, what do you do for fun? Do you just not
Yeah.
say,
Yeah.
I
What are your
play video
hobbies?
games?
Because I do a lot of things. I've my personal belief in terms of my makeup, my personality, my character. I've always had the belief of sort of like this Renaissance man, right? So like you think about, and I got this from, I was inspired by this from Leonardo da Vinci, right? This dude was an artist, an engineer, architect, sculptor. Like the dude knew a lot about a lot of different things, and so I feel like yeah, I game. I feel like I'm, somewhat techie, at least enough to understand certain things.
Hmm.
I'm into cars. I'm into, I like engineering stuff. I like art. I like opera. I like hip hop. I like country. And
Hmm.
so I don't want to pigeonhole myself into saying, oh, well, I'm a gamer. Now, I was always transparent about it. And so with my current wife, I would tell her like, "Oh yeah, it's Friday night. I'm gaming with the boys and
Yeah.
Bojo." and so I didn't lie about it. I didn't hide it. And
Hmm.
obviously, if the girl ever made it to my place, she would see my setup. So it wasn't like I was transparent, but I didn't want her forming. I didn't
No
want
pun
her.
intended.
See your setup?
Hey, you gonna come to my place and see my setup?
So you want to camel?
Uh,
I
Uh,
just,
I
I
might
just,
use that line.
And maybe I was just being cowardly about that. Because I mean, do you all agree that there's still that sort of stigma towards gamers when it comes to
Well,
dating?
see, my thing is like, I think,
You're a
especially
fellow
in
gamer
the,
though, Bojo.
I mean, still,
yeah,
it's a lot more mainstream than it used to be. Like, everybody plays video games now. And
well, I mean, look
I
at the
think,
year 2020. Like Henry Cavill, like had a tweet where he was like in like a muscle T-shirt putting a PC together, and like everybody on Twitter trolled him
yeah,
over it.
it was
Yeah,
I
great.
didn't
I
even know he
loved the
was a
video.
gamer.
Like,
no,
but no,
I was so thrilled to see another celebrity come because I mean, you don't hear about gamer celebrities, right? Like
You
I
really
know
loved
Drake played some Fortnite, and I know Post Malone is pretty big into Call of Duty.
yeah.
Um, and so I know it's kind of out there, but like you still don't have like celebrities coming out and like endorsing sports or video game
it.
tournaments. If there's like I haven't seen any big like mainstream artists come out and like host a tournament or something like that. Like it's still somewhat undeveloped territory.
Maybe not in the tournament scene, but Aubrey Plaza and do you not remember all the WoW commercials?
Oh, I do
Wow,
remember those.
person.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
commercials with all the different
with all
like
the celebrities
celebrities.
showing their characters and stuff. And
Oh
then
yeah,
I don't know
actually, I
if
do
that's
remember
right.
that. Yeah.
I don't believe, but I personally don't believe that they actually. I don't believe, but
You don't think so?
nah, I think they just got paid to make a character. And
Terry Crews streams. Um,
Terry Crews is a big one. I know because obviously he was the face of Crackdown.
Hmm.
But it was, and he's gone on record to say that his son was the one that kind of inspired him and turned him on to games. And I know you have like T Pain.
yeah.
Um, so you have some out there. I still don't think that it's mainstream enough for like where if you're dating a girl and you know you tell her that, oh yeah, I'm a gamer, that she's not a part of. I feel like a lot of girls are gonna have a little flag that's like, okay, is he a
I
I
man
mean,
or
disagree wholeheartedly.
I, me personally, I think it depends on the girl and how in tune she is with pop culture and how in touch she is with just what's going on in society. Like one thing I learned about 2020, like well, one thing I learned from 2020 is that there are a lot more people gaming than I thought. Like I even looked on Twitch. There's a lot of wrestlers that have like Twitch streaming channels playing games. There's so many celebrities that, and even if Animal Crossing is the only game that they play, but there's a lot of celebrities who played Animal Crossing that
I've
was on. I think
noticed
it's
that there's a lot of adult performers starting to stream.
Mhm.
Uh,
yeah, I did see
and I
that
was
too.
like, what? But
Yeah, I
you
did
think
see
about
that
it. I
too.
mean, if they're natural entertainers in that arena, it would make sense that they could do the same in the streaming
In
world.
streaming,
And
yeah,
I mean, they're already bringing like a huge following of people
yeah.
that plays. It's kind of like OnlyFans with video games.
I just
Like,
don't think that there's as much of a stigma as you think there is. Cause like
Like I
I don't
said,
know,
women
every
like to
girl I
go
know
for
has or
creative,
does play video games.
but you are in your own. That's your own circle, though, right? Or these people you
No,
grew up
I'm not different anymore. Like everybody like this is something everybody does now. Like
yeah,
I'm not the only girl gamer. I'm not one in a million anymore. Like most girls game now, whether it's Animal Crossing, whether it's even mobile games. I mean, to me, it doesn't matter what you play or what you play on. You're still a gamer if you play games. So
No,
yeah,
yeah, I'm not gonna take that away
it's
from
it's
anybody.
there's a
Um,
lot less of a stigma and a lot more people do it and a lot more females do it than like even 2 years ago. So
I I think I
I
saw.
don't doubt that it's going mainstream. I just don't. I know like I'm thinking about my circle from like my college days, and I still keep in touch with a lot of my female friends from college. None of them are gay. They don't
Yeah,
even possess that interest.
maybe there's just
Um,
yeah.
nothing else to do in West Virginia, but like a lot, literally almost all of my friends play some
game.
form of games. All
Yeah,
most of the people I know and can think of off the
I'm
top of my
even
head play games.
thinking of like, all right, so my wife doesn't game. She has two sisters. They don't game. My sister doesn't game. Uh, and I know anecdotal evidence is pointless, but and I'm just going off of I think there's still a bit of a stigma. Obviously, like you can, like I don't think it's a deal breaker for women. I'm not saying that if I was dating somebody and I told, oh yeah, well I game, I enjoy doing that. She's gonna be like, oh, fuck this guy, this date is over. We're not quite there, but I think it creates a bit of an uphill battle for you initially. Now, if she notices, if like she gets to know you, and she's like, oh, this guy likes to go dancing. This guy likes to, he has a, you know, a good career, or he's stable. Oh, and he games, and after that, it's really not really held against him. But
So
if
yeah.
it's
then I have a question. Um, if that is, I mean, why not go for someone with more similar interests then?
me
Yes,
personally, there are
yeah.
other values more important than if she games.
Well, yeah, no, no, no. I mean, no one's two dimensional. I
Right.
like to travel. Oh, it started
I heard
echoing.
that. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, no one's two dimensional. I like to travel and kayak and do things that my boyfriend doesn't like to do, but
Hmm.
I like having something that we can both do together.
No, yeah, and I mean,
Yeah.
my wife and I have stuff that we can do together. We're both huge Office fans, so we will
Okay,
binge The Office, and we can spend hours. And she's big into sports, and I love sports, but she's a bigger
gotcha.
sports fan than I am. But we enjoy it. So it's not, obviously there's something that I she
Mm,
obviously possesses values and interests that took me to the point where I wanted to marry the woman. So you
Yeah.
know, it's I just think that obviously where we differ is, she's not a gamer, I am, and it's something that I've done all my life, and it takes up a lot of my time, and it cuts her
Mm.
off. Literally, no other hobby of mine or interest of mine cuts her off. Even like I'm in a truck club. Well, okay, she doesn't come to the truck meetings, but if we go to like a truck festival or like a show, the guys bring their girlfriends or wives or whatever, and still included in it.
I
Gotcha.
mean, I think. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Bojo.
I was just gonna say, so on the same note, then being a gamer, you being a gamer for her isn't a deal breaker, as her not being a gamer isn't a deal breaker for you. So I just don't think it matters then, if that
Could be.
makes
I
sense.
mean, it could be very much a self confidence issue in me that I think it's a stigma. And so maybe back when I was dating, I wasn't confident enough to say, "Oh yeah, I'm a gamer," and I cared too much about what they thought. And
Yeah.
going forward now, if I was dating today, um, I don't know if I would be different or not. But like I said, I never hit it because I do know that because I know that there's a stigma there, or because I believe that there was a stigma. I was always transparent because I didn't want to throw it on them like, oh, by the way, I'm a
Yeah.
huge fucking nerd.
I think it has a lot to
uh,
do with how you grow up too. Like if you're constantly told that, oh, girls don't game, you're gonna think girls don't game.
yeah, that very well could be
Yeah.
because I mentioned all the women in my life, and I can't think of a single one that games.
Because that's what creates stigmas in general, is like you
Social
constantly grow
stigma.
up around people that tell you certain things, and you see it in the atmosphere in which you grow up, and you just think
Yeah.
that the whole world is like that whenever you're actually in your own little bubble, and the whole world isn't like West Virginia, just like the whole world isn't like Texas, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we have good weather.
I'd like, well, I was gonna say I'd like the weather, but maybe not now.
No, actually, it's fucking 70 degrees. And it was 80 at one point on Monday. Texas weather is bipolar.
Yeah. It was almost 60 degrees here in Jersey today, and lately it's been like 20 or less. But today it just decided to go up to 60 degrees, so it was pretty warm today.
Yeah, it was
I want to say.
64 here yesterday. I lost my mind. I had the windows
Oof.
down. It was
Yeah.
incredible. It was
Yeah.
30 today though, so okay. But
Yeah.
we experience all the seasons in a week here.
Mother
Exactly.
Nature, you crazy.
Crazy.
Yeah.
But
uh,
I mean, I personally think that even if you are with somebody who doesn't enjoy gaming, maybe that's still kind of a good thing, because at the end of the day, whether you're in a marriage or whether you're in just like a relationship in general, it's always good to have something that's just for you. You know what I mean? You might share a lot of things together, you might do a lot of things together, but we all still need to have like that one thing that's just for us, that we can just do for ourselves, during our time. So even if that's not something that your significant other is into, it might not be that much of a bad thing, to be honest. You know?
I agree with that
hey,
100%.
that's actually a really good spin on it. Yeah, I didn't. Especially nowadays when mental health is starting to be such a that's becoming mainstream for sure.
Yeah.
Things that can give you an escape, which is gaming does very well.
Mhm.
It gives you a moment to settle down. Whereas maybe before it would have been like, well, I'm gonna go knock down a fifth of whiskey and see what happens. Maybe now you gotta
Yeah.
go shoot some zombies in the face and stress, hang out with friends that I otherwise wouldn't have met or known. Um, it's just a different outlet. Um, just
For
like
sure.
being able to do a podcast with friends is another outlet to put it out there. I think it's definitely good to talk it out. Uh, whether it's a relationship or whether it's you putting your thoughts out into the universe,
Yeah.
um, it can definitely be cathartic. I think I use that
And
word.
I think that gaming has turned into more than just sitting in front of a TV playing a game. Gaming has turned into like a social community. I mean, we
Yeah.
have Discord, we have online chats and things like that. Hell, we have conventions that we used to go to. So it's more than just sitting in front of a TV. Like it's literally like a community where you have friends, you build bonds. There's people that got married through gaming. There's somebody who proposed on WoW. So it's not what it used to be years ago when you were just sitting in your mom's basement. You know, it's
Mhm.
literally a community, and
Yeah, the
yeah,
era of the basement dwellers is no more.
We've all
yeah,
crawled
exactly.
out.
Yeah,
Caught on the basement
we got
finally.
some. Yeah, we got some vitamin D on our
We're
skin
top
now.
level now, baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're moving up. We're moving up.
No,
You
but
know.
I agree. It definitely does bring people together, whether it be friendships, relationships, it's from all over the world. I mean, we're all in different parts of the country. I
Yeah.
You
it's
know,
just so cool.
and it actually is. It kind of fits it perfectly because I just got done reading Ready Player Two. Have you finished
Mhm.
it or
I
no?
haven't finished it. I'm on the second
Okay.
chapter.
Have
Wait,
you
wait. There's
ever
a
read?
Ready Player 2? What?
Yeah, it just came out in
Yeah,
What?
December.
the book came out last year.
Oh,
I
I gotta
just
get
finished
it.
reading it. I
I
won't
gotta get it.
withhold any details or sentiments or reviews about it. Let you
Yeah,
guys
no
experience
spoilers.
it.
Yeah.
But and this goes back to the original one. Like
Mhm.
the way they set up, the Oasis and how it becomes more than just a video game with linear objectives. Shoot this guy, beat this boss. It becomes. I think in that universe, it's more of a social objectives and it can be sort of trivia based. There's objectives, but it's not your traditional type stuff, but it's social.
Mhm.
You have communities that spring up and go to specific planets or specific genres or specific game universes and develop that community. Um, I can definitely see that being the trajectory that current gaming has. Because I
Yeah.
mean, the gaming industry, at the end, at fundamentally, it's a company that's trying to make a profit. You don't, you have some people out there that are doing it in a sort of philanthropic way, like I want to make a video game to help veterans out, or I want to make a video game to help people with auditory or sensory deprivation type situations. But at the end of the day, your video game industry is still trying to make money, right? And you have a certain segment of the population that's a gamer, but you have a way bigger segment of the population that's not. Well, how do you get them interested in um, video games or gaming consoles or gaming space uh, products and programs? Is you start making it more social, and I think that's where it's going to head. And I think that the nature of relationships
Mhm.
between humans are definitely going to evolve and change. And I don't know, hopefully for the better. I don't know how that's going to work, but
We'll see in
it'll
10
be
years.
interesting. Yeah. I think VR and like developments in like what is it, like tactile or um
Haptic.
the haptic. There you go. Haptic technology, I think, is going to be critical or pretty
Yeah.
eye opening. Um, and I mean, it'll be cool to see what that does, because then all of a sudden, possibility comes of cheating on your partner with a virtual being. Is it cheating? Is it not cheating? You're gonna start crossing some weird lines, right?
Yeah.
Like today it's
Oh
everybody's
yeah.
crushing on the big woman from Resident Evil Village, and I don't think a real woman anywhere in the world is actually
She is
crushing
hot. She's hot.
her. But with that being said, there's haptic stuff that can happen with her.
Haptic.
Haptic.
We know where your head's at, or where it
Uh-huh.
wants to be.
Anyone that heard the big woman from Resident Evil Village knows exactly where my foot is. Just like
Exactly.
everybody went to it.
Nothing else needs
Um,
to be said about that one.
yeah, there you go. I mean, let's keep it real. If you are able to start sort of, you know, feeling things virtually, At what point does your partner have a reason or a valid reason to get angry, right? And vice versa. I mean, if my wife put on some kind of haptic gear and all of a sudden there's a dude rubbing on her, like even if it's virtual, like I'm not coming.
Yeah, it's gonna get weird. I'm sure.
Mm-hmm.
The internet's already weird.
Yeah.
And it can only, I'm sure, get weirder with VR and that any sort of technology that enhances your experience on the internet.
Mm-hmm. You've already got dolls, so
Yeah, I
throw
mean,
on some animatronics and some VR goggles, and who knows what they can do.
ugh.
It might already be there now. Like it might be happening already. You never know.
I'm sure somebody somewhere is developing it.
Oh
And
yeah, for sure.
it was funny because here in Houston, there was a guy trying to open up what did he call it? I want to say he called it like a digital broth. No, it wasn't digital, but it was a brothel, but it was all sex dolls or whatever. The city slapped an injunction on it right away. They're like, hell no, you're not
I'm
opening
like,
it.
no, you're not doing that.
Oh
Yeah, you're not
man.
doing that. Yeah, it was pretty weird. Like kind of like you go and you rent a doll for however much time, and then you give it back, and
Rent a
Ugh.
doll? Why
It
would you?
gets reused?
That's
yes,
nasty.
it's a
That's
thing
nasty.
already. It's already a thing. I because whenever they were doing that, I think the guy was modeling it after a business in Spain or somewhere in Europe. There's already a shop that caters to this
No,
thing.
I don't
I
like
mean,
Just
that.
saying,
I don't like the kink shame, but that's a little much, man. I don't
I
know if I
agree.
would do
To
that.
reuse it, something that's already been used, like something inanimate, it is just a little weird and gross, like
Yeah.
unsanitary. They can't
I
possibly
I
clean those
disagree.
enough.
I don't
Ugh,
care how much sanitizer you put
ugh.
on that thing. No.
No,
I
no, no.
agree. I agree. I agree. I'm just saying. I'm just saying though, when it comes to gaming and relationships, gaming's gonna take is gonna push social boundaries. I think more so than any other industry, and social interactions are gonna be, like I said, they're gonna be hinging on where gaming and gaming space type technologies take us, right?
I
Oh yeah, for sure.
I did just kind of realize that it would actually be helpful to create technology like that for long distance relationships. I think.
So I know I've heard of like there's certain suits that they sell with like little electric pads all over the
Yeah.
place, and your partner can send you little buzzes and
I've seen like
Oh
bracelets
yeah.
and stuff and like little lamps and pillows and stuff
yeah,
like that, but I don't think I've ever seen like, I don't know, like
it'd be like what movie was that? Oh no, it's not from the movie. There's a show on Amazon Prime. I think
Mm.
it's called Upload.
Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Upload, yeah.
Upload. The premise is that when you die, right before you die, they can upload your consciousness to a drive and then upload you to a virtual world, and you live in this virtual world, but you can still interact with people that are still alive through their
Oh,
avatars or
that's weird.
whatever. And like the dude and his girlfriend in the real world decide to have sex, and so she puts on this suit, all these weird little fingers inside, and she puts it on, and it simulates intercourse, and like yeah,
Interesting.
I guess I get the premise of or the thought of where that could aid a relationship, but
Mm.
it can also not, right? Like it
yeah.
can definitely ruin relationships. It can ruin because there's something to be said for actual intimacy, right? Like actual
Yeah.
touch, actual being
Yeah.
there.
You can only do so much
So
over the internet.
yeah,
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's never gonna be the same, no matter how much technology advances. It's
Yeah.
still not gonna be the same. You know,
mm-hmm.
but at the end of the day, I mean, gaming always pushes technology forward. I mean, if you look at what some of these new game consoles are doing, they're actually pushing technology forward for TVs. Now we're getting 120 hertz TVs, which really is new for television because it's been only 30 hertz for so many years.
Mm-hmm.
So for us to get 120 hertz TVs is freaking amazing. And like we've had over 144 hertz monitors for like years, and now we're getting that on TVs now. So gaming pushes a lot of things forward. They push, the social aspect of society forward. They push technology forward. Some doctors are using gaming for like health related things and stuff like that. So I mean, gaming is a big part of our life, and we just don't realize it. It's more than just like you said, kids playing in a basement. So
Mm.
Maybe one day the stigma will be like, oh, you don't game?
Yeah.
Something's wrong with you.
What do
I
you
think we're getting, I
do?
think we're getting
Like,
close to that.
Dude,
Yeah, you don't play
how do you
Switch?
live?
What?
see, it's like that
Exactly.
now with people who don't watch TV. I'm like, what do you do? Like, you just sit there and stare at a wall? Like, I don't
You read.
understand.
I can only read for so much.
Yeah.
I think we're getting closer to that. I mean, hell, we had AOC on Twitch like a few weeks
Yeah.
ago. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I
They
think
politics.
we're getting there a little bit. You know.
It's gonna be
So
interesting when people from our age really start to dominate the political landscape and how that affects relate. Because I mean, if you think about it, it would be pretty fucking dope if a presidential candidate or something like that had a Fortnite event and you're sitting there and his avatar is giving a speech and flossing and you're flossing with them and they're
Oh
oh my
my
god,
god, no.
the
dude, tell me
freaking
you wouldn't vote for that
floss.
guy.
I would not
I
vote for that
don't
guy.
know.
Well, maybe not because it's not Fortnite. But I'm just saying, if you had like,
Oh
because
my god.
think about like the gamers in general.
Our
Like,
president
if you
flossing
found
though?
out that, like, for example, Henry Cavill, I found out he's a gamer. I already liked him as Superman. Definitely liked him as Geralt. But the fact that he was willing to put it out there and be like, "Oh, I'm a big PC nerd," like instantly shot him up to like one of my favorite celebrities out there because he's relatable. So if you find all of a sudden you get a politician and AOC is doing a good job of tapping into this, but if I saw Bernie Sanders lighting it up on Call of Duty, I'd be like, oh, okay, well maybe this socialist thing is he's got something going here, or whatever, like it just be another cool thing for them to establish sort of that relationship with their contingency. We'll see how that goes, and maybe it
No
could
idea.
backfire.
Especially if he
But
kicks your ass in Call of Duty. That'll
oh
be even
yeah,
doper.
if he plays if the president of the United States plays Call of Duty and he slaps, like okay, this guy's for sure. You ain't gonna get
Hell
no
yeah, I want you to.
The presidential
no.
race is just a Call of Duty tournament.
Oh,
Winner gets to be the president.
Could you imagine?
We'll have a
oh,
12-year-old
Oh,
as president in no time.
oh my god. That'll be
I bet
crazy.
he knows my mom too.
Oh wow. I mean, I definitely, I definitely think we're getting to the age though where it's going to be so common for people to be a gamer because if you look at most of our parents probably were never gamers because gaming wasn't really how it is today when they were young. But now that you have so many people playing games so young, it's going to be it's going to get to the point where you're going to have a lot of parents who are gamers compared to when our parents were younger. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I look forward to the day where I can my kid thinks he's hot shit and I can pull up next to him and just clap his cheeks and own him. Like I don't give a shit if I'm old and you can dunk on me. I
Suck it,
will still
kid.
whoop.
Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Take that
And then I look
360
forward
no
to the
scope.
day when they maybe they get better.
see,
Yeah.
I
Maybe they
had
can
that
win.
experience growing up with like Tekken and Mortal Kombat and stuff because I grew up in a my dad huge gamer. Um, grew up with an Atari and then moved to Nintendo and the Segas and
Oh,
PlayStations
nice.
and through the ages basically. I still have all my consoles. I've got a huge collection now, which is really
Mm.
cool, but
I will say my dad, he wasn't a gamer at all, but since we were actually pretty good kids in school, he did always like, all right, I know there's a new console out. Which one do you want, the Sega or the Super Nintendo?
I
So
don't know. We were always
he,
really big on family time, and that was one of the ways to like get us all in the same room and do. Cause like Rock Band was huge in my house. We
Oh
had a
yeah.
family band. Like it was the
that'd be awesome.
best, and board games were huge and stuff. And I think that can it's so much fun. It was
I
a
miss Rock
blast.
Band.
Me
I miss Rock Band
too.
a lot.
Me too, man. Rock Band was
Oh man. Rock Band and Guitar Hero 2. Guitar Hero 2 has some classic bangers on there, man.
Mhm.
Oh yeah,
I
for
freaking
sure.
loved it.
I was never good enough to play on expert, but hard I can knock out. That
I
little orange
Yeah.
button would just fuck me up.
I used to do tournaments, man.
Really? Oh
Mhm.
man.
I was never that good.
Were any of you ever good enough to play Freebird on hard?
Yes.
Oh,
Hell no.
I couldn't do it, man.
They took that game off the App Store, didn't they?
Yeah, because of license purposes with the songs and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's why. Yeah. So
But
you
I
can't
remember,
even buy it online.
nah. Oh fuck that game.
There's a
Oh,
clone. It's called Clone Hero on Steam now. That's like any
oh
song
yeah.
ever and you can upload songs and stuff and they make adapters for the guitars for PCs and stuff.
Oh
So,
yeah.
Interesting.
Interesting enough, one of our DWF community members, Frantic Raven, just wrote a how-to on how to play Guitar Smith without the special cable that they used to give you.
yeah.
And he
Oh really?
mentioned that I think Clone Hero or whatever, you can, or there's a certain way you can upload creator made or custom created songs and stuff like that. But yeah, I know there's a huge like cult following for like Rocksmith and Guitar Hero and all.
Oh nice.
Um,
I might look into that.
That's really neat.
Yeah, because I
I'm
want my
pretty sure
Guitar
I'd
Hero.
drive my wife crazy if I was playing rock or Guitar Hero.
Probably.
It's one thing if
Probably.
I
Be in the
go and
doghouse.
lock myself up in my game room, but if I'm taking up the living room TV, that's probably crossing the line.
Oh yeah, for sure. You'd be in the doghouse.
Yeah.
Nice.
Man, so no, I think we definitely had a good conversation here about the different boundary,
Mhm.
the different dynamics of relationships and where it can actually lead to or where it can go.
Yeah.
Definitely the future part of it is we could probably have a segment on that alone just because seeing where gaming is going to take the social universe, the
Yeah.
social aspect of humankind. Like,
It'll be interesting to see for sure.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
somebody out there's already working on it. Um, Especially when you got like when somebody like Facebook buys VR technology, you know that they're up to something.
I mean, look at where cars are now.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane to think about like there are cars out there driving themselves and
I would love like an iRobot where cars just kind of drive themselves and switching over to manual is like what are you doing? I would love that because
Yeah.
you could traffic would be optimized and there's no traffic jams or bullshit. You're just
yeah.
zipping along.
I mean, we're close to that now where cars can actually park themselves. So
Yeah, you've got that technology. You've got the self-driving technology coming out.
yeah.
I obviously, if they're gonna optimize that at some point, they're gonna have to, and the government will probably have to do it. But you've got a
Yeah.
regulator, right? Like it's got to be technology that can speak to itself. So like
Yeah.
Tesla, Google, Ford, Chevy, whoever the hell else decides to make self-driving cars, like they've got to be on the same bandwidth. So
Well,
that
I
I
I
know that's
heard that
gonna.
Apple is making a car right now.
Um, who was it? Some college kid, or at least a recent college graduate, was like the one that was pushing the self driving technology, and he was actually the one licensing it out to a lot of different companies. I just remember
Oh
reading
really?
that he got super rich, but you know, if you are, I think that would be the best course in terms of having cars that speak to each other, with it, regardless of the make or model. You've got a third
Yeah.
party developer that can license it out to these guys.
Mm.
Could be a thing. I don't know. I'm already getting. I'm talking way outside of my
Next time on the
knowledge.
DWF podcast,
Self-driving
Self-driving
cars,
cars. Yeah.
the future.
the future.
The future is now.
Awesome. Oh, did anybody else have anything else to add? Or is this a good?
Um, no, not that I can think of at the moment. No, I think it was definitely a good conversation. Like I said, gaming has to be done in moderation, whether you're in a relationship or not. Um, yeah, just be you, whether you're a gamer or not. Just don't let anybody change you. If you're a gamer, be that. Just do it in moderation.
Exactly. Yeah.
I think that's all the
And
advice. Don't listen to me. Be upfront. Don't. I never
communication
agree.
is key. Set boundaries early. Always talk
Mm-hmm.
Exactly.
about what's
At
wrong
least
and if
the
there is something wrong.
expectations need to be communicated, and then
Yeah,
you will have to
absolutely.
compromise, and that goes for any relationship. Like compromises are part of it. You know,
Yeah.
unless you're dating yourself, you're gonna compromise. So don't.
And if your significant other can kick your ass in your favorite game, just make sure you marry them.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah,
That's
make
it.
sure they're always in your squad. All right.
Awesome.
Well, once again, appreciate you talking with us, KJ, and joining us today. Appreciate you bringing up the topic.
No
Yes.
Um,
problem. No problem.
Good
for
conversation for
anybody
sure.
out there that wants to add anything to the conversation, we're more than happy to keep the discussion going on Twitter. Do you think gaming is still looked at as a stigma? Am I wrong? Am I an idiot? Let me know. Um, but once again, to all of our fans out there and listeners, we appreciate y'all downloading and listening. I know consistency has been difficult to achieve, actually, because believe it or not, it's hard to line up 4 or 5 different schedules at one time. But
Mhm.
we do enjoy doing this. We do love this, and definitely would enjoy anybody who's interested in joining the conversation on our Discord, the DWF Divided We Fall Gaming Discord. Links are on links are in the Twitter. And thanks again, guys.
Until
For
next
sure.
time.
Sure. Later. Peace out.